TickerTrends has evolved quite a bit since our initial tutorial and overview videos, so I decided to revamp the series with a new overview video going over some of the features on TickerTrends. But if you haven't already, make sure to follow the TickerTrends Twitter, where we post free research reports, different data values that are performing abnormally well. We tried to put as much alpha as possible on this Twitter page. And of course, we also post some updates about what we're changing on the TickerTrends platform so that you can follow us there. And we also have our Medium, which is at TickerTrends on Medium, where we actually post these research reports as well. So you can join a mailing list on Medium completely for free, where you get these full-length research reports going over stocks and trades and cryptocurrencies that we believe have opportunity. So for free alpha, make sure to look on our Twitter and our Medium. But before I get into the video, I want to mention two things. First, I want to mention that part of these major changes, the one thing that we've added to the TickerTrends platform is the 7-day free trial. So if anything in this video interests you, we highly recommend that you join the platform through our free trial, because we are confident that once you try the platform and see what TickerTrends can do, that you're going to want more of it. We're that confident in the product. Of course, you can cancel it before the 7-day period. It's completely free. There's no strings attached, but we are confident enough in the platform that we are giving you a 7-day free trial with all features unlocked. So if anything interests you, I highly recommend you join the 7-day free trial. And of course, we have live chat support, tutorials, and resources. So if you have any questions throughout the process, or you'd like to get in contact with me directly, that you can always send us a message on the website or send me an email. But also, it's been really amazing to see the community reception of TickerTrends itself on Twitter and on these different platforms. It's been really cool to see these people get excited about the Bloomberg terminal of alternative data and see the vision and what we're building and what we've already built. But I do get this question a lot, people coming to me who are interested in TickerTrends, and that question is, how can TickerTrends help me gain a market edge over the rest of the market, whether it be in stocks or cryptocurrency? That's really a majority of what people come and ask us at the very beginning, because they think that TickerTrends is really cool, but they don't quite understand how it can fit into their own personal trading strategy. Now, the analogy that I like to make, and it's a bit of an odd one, is whenever you have someone who's trading based on inside information, right? Because I think it's very easy to understand the edge that you're getting from inside information. If you are a trader and you know someone within a company who's able to give you early data on how that company is performing, then that data is extremely valuable, because you can say, well, the market thinks that this company is going to perform this well on their upcoming earnings, but I know that actually they're going to do much better than that. So that's a huge opportunity for you to make some position in the market to be able to say, well, actually this company is performing much better than what the market expects, so I can buy it and easily make money. Now, of course, TickerTrends is not insider trading. It's based on public information and data that we get from Google, from SimilarWeb, from Twitter, from different social media platforms, from news sentiment, so from different sources all over the internet. We collect all of this data, but the entire point, it's the same end goal. We want to provide you with information that the rest of the market is not fully aware of, that you can then gain alpha from. So let me give you an example. Let's say that I find a website on the TickerTrends platform, which once again, I'm going to go over in just a second, so you'll see a little idea of how you can do this. But let's say I find crocs.com is performing exceedingly well. So the website, in terms of the web traffic, the number of people who go on the Crocs website is increasing a lot. However, when I look at the stock price, I see that the stock is starting to go up, but investors haven't fully realized the magnitude of increase that Crocs have started to get. So maybe the market expects that Crocs are going to increase in sales by 1.5x compared to the previous quarter, but based on the data that I'm looking at, it looks clear that it's going to be far above that. Maybe it's going to be 2x or 3x the previous quarter's earnings. So I can position myself in a way to say the market hasn't fully priced in this data yet. I'm looking at the data in real time, and I can track that data in real time to see if it continues to go up. But for the moment being, I can make a position in Crocs and until the market is able to fully price in that data, whether it be from quarterly earnings, whether it just be from time. Sometimes even after quarterly earnings, it takes a while for data to fully get priced in because the market doesn't realize the gravity of a trend or a certain product that people are really starting to buy. But I can make a position into that company and hold it until the market reaches information parity, which basically means the information is fully priced in. But the entire point of TickerTrends is that you can track these trends through different alternative data points until it's fully priced into the market, and that's how you're able to gain alpha. So we track data sources, I kind of mentioned this before, from Google search term data, so Google Trends data. We search historical web traffic data, so that means if someone goes to a website, for example, if someone's going to go to adobe.com, we can track the number of people that are going to adobe.com and plot that over time, so you can start to see trends from that, or if the number of people visiting a website is increasing. We also track social data. So for example, if someone's going to go on Twitter and mention, I want to buy Bitcoin or something like that, we can track the number of people over time that are saying, I want to buy Bitcoin. And then potentially that could give you an opportunity to say, well, the number of people who want to buy Bitcoin is increasing right now, and the market hasn't realized that yet. So then you can position yourself accordingly. But that's the entire point of the TickerTrends platform and how it gives you a market edge over the rest of the market. But once you first join the TickerTrends platform, whether you're using the free trial or you decide to go with the full subscription, you will be welcomed with a tutorial page. And I will leave a link down in the description down below if you'd like to read this tutorial in terms of going over the features more in depth. The tutorial is also in beta, it's in progress. We're going to be evolving the tutorial over time. This is just a basic tutorial for now, but then we're going to add more tips and tricks and other things later. But hopefully this overview video also helps in addition to the tutorial. But one of the first things you'll see in the tutorial is the actual setup of the TickerTrends website has changed. And the purpose of the setup of the TickerTrends website is to make it more intuitive in terms of how to find these opportunities in the market. Because TickerTrends doesn't necessarily just say, you should buy this one specific company, but we try to make it as easy as possible for you to get the platform to say, well, maybe this is a company you should really look into. So it's not going to tell you directly, you should buy Bitcoin, but it might tell you out of this list of 10 companies that you're ranking based on alternative data, these are the 10 best performing companies in terms of the data. So it allows you to narrow down the amount of companies that you're looking at significantly and then analyze it on the platform. So this Discover section is entirely for that. You can identify the opportunities within the data. So you can find tickers, you can find websites, you can find Google Trends terms, you can find social media terms that are performing very well. Then we have the Analyze section. In the Analyze section, you can actually analyze this data against the price of the company over time, or you can do deeper analysis with things like correlation. You can add other data to the chart. You can compare data to each other, but that's the section where you can analyze once you've found opportunities that you want to look into more. And then the Manage section is really where you're going to be able to manage all of the data on the platform. So let's say that there's a website that you want to track that's not currently being tracked on TickerTrends. Then you can go to the Manage Data section and you can say, I want to add apple.com website being tracked, or I want to add iPad Google Trends term that I want to track over time. That's what the Manage section does. So that the entire purpose of these three categories is to make it really easy to say, okay, I want to find an opportunity, I want to analyze an opportunity, and then if I want to add data or manage things on the platform, then I go to the Manage section. So let me give you an example of whenever I would be looking for an opportunity in the Discover section. And I'll start with the ticker ranking section, as I think this is the easiest one to understand. So while it's loading here, I'll give you a little description of what's going to happen on this page. Basically, the ticker ranking page allows you to say, okay, here are all the tickers that you're currently analyzing on TickerTrends, and here are different values that you can look at. That's a total of all of the data that's being tracked for that ticker. So let's say that I'm looking at a specific company, so a stock here, and I want to rank these stocks based on all of their associated data. So I want to look at the websites that's being tracked and the trend terms that are being tracked, in addition to the price action of the stock. So then I get this cumulative value of everything being added together. So basically you don't really need to understand what these values are, but if you want to get more into it, you can. You can even customize it actually with the custom formula button. But when you first get on the platform, we'll just give these values to you, and then you can rank it based on these values to try to find these opportunities. So here I've ranked the stocks based on the stock formula, and then it gives me some of these companies that I should look further into. So let's say that I'm looking at this list here and I decide that I want to look more into Celsius based on the fact that it has a pretty high value based on these rankings. So then what I can do, and again, with these other data table pages, it's going to be very similar. You can rank all of the data based on different formulas or values. So let me give you an example with the search term trends data table. As it loads here, it's going to be a little bit different than the ticker ranking data table, but the purpose is the same. It's to find those values that are performing very well. So you can see here, as I said before, I wanted to look more into Celsius. When I rank this data based on the year-over-year performance, so how many people have been searching it this year compared to the previous year, you can see that this value is one of the highest in terms of Celsius flavors. A lot of people are searching that value. And then I can see the associated ticker with that value, which is Celsius. So now I have two data points I've seen on the ticker ranking data table and the search term trends data table that Celsius is performing really well. So this is piquing my interest. So now I want to analyze it. Then I can go to the analyze section of TickerTrends, and this is previously what was the homepage of TickerTrends. But what you can do here is you can input a ticker. So for example, I'm going to put Celsius, and then I can decide to analyze the data associated with this ticker. So let's say I want to look at the trend values for Celsius, then I can go here, I can select trend. And then for example, here I can see that Celsius flavors for some reason has a substantial spike in the amount of people searching it. But Celsius energy drink might be something that's higher search volume. So then when I put this to all periods and I add a moving average, so the moving average just smooths the data, then here I can see how Celsius energy drink has been performing over time. And I can see that it's been growing quite substantially. So this is something that I might want to look into further, but I can also add a moving average to this data as well. And then you'll be able to see a bit easier how a moving average can help by smoothing those volatile data points into something more flat. But then you might say, well, what if I want to look at multiple data at the same time? Or what if I want to compare it to the price action of the stock? So what you can do is you can enable the Pro Chart. Now what the Pro Chart does is it puts that trend data that I was just looking at on the same chart as the price action. So I can compare the price action to the trend data over time. So let's say I want to change this period to all periods. So that's going to get all of the available data over time. Then now you can see I have two of these trend values on the chart, and I also have the price data over time. Now, again, this is a bit spiky in terms of the data, so I want to add a moving average to this. So you can see moving average selection options for the ticker data. So Celsius flavors and Celsius energy drink, I want to add a moving average. So I will go add a 15-day moving average to both of these data points, and it's going to take a couple seconds to load just because it has to perform all these calculations. But once these data points have a moving average added to it, then I can much more easily see how these trends have been affecting the company over time. So you can see here that the data started to skyrocket. So both of the terms, Celsius energy drink, which you can see here on the red, and the yellow term, Celsius flavors, both started to spike substantially, but the market hadn't started pricing this in yet. So you can see there's a divergence in the growth of these search terms, but the market hadn't started pricing that in yet. Then you can see as we got closer to earnings, the stock price started to go up more and more. And then likely this gap right here is probably when the earnings came out or something similar to that. But then you can see when the information started to diverge from the rest of the market and the potential opportunity that you could have had to make an investment in this period of when these two values were performing exceedingly well before the market fully realized it. So this is a great example of a potential opportunity that you could have taken advantage of with the TickerTrends platform. But what you can do is then you can find further opportunities of things that are maybe not fully priced in. So a good example of this is a company that we recently wrote a research report on, which is called Model N. And Model N has very, very good performing web traffic, and the stock price hasn't necessarily completely caught up to it. So let me give you an example of an opportunity that hasn't been priced in yet, at least in my opinion. So if we remove some of the data from the chart and we then plot the web traffic data, because I think, again, this is an example where the web traffic data is performing very well. And when the moving average is added to the web traffic data, now we can start to see some of the trends of this company over time. And we can see that actually the divergence in the web traffic data and the price data started around November of 2021, where the web traffic data was going up, but the stock price continued to go down. However, now we can start to see that the web traffic is really taking off, and the stock price is starting to price it in. But I would say in this case, it's really a question of magnitude. So how well is the web traffic performing compared to what the market is expecting? And actually with Model N, we just did a research report on this, and earnings are coming up soon. So it is likely that they will have a beat on the earnings, and I think the market is starting to expect that. But the question is, will this growth continue over time? Because if it does, then this is a really good opportunity to continue to track. And personally, I will be entering a position into this before their upcoming earnings report, so that even though I realize that their upcoming earnings are going to be very volatile, I see an opportunity here for the data potentially not being fully priced in. And if you look at a research report, then we go over some of the other trend terms and things that we're looking at to confirm further that actually Model N is performing very well. I didn't only look at this web traffic data in order to identify that. But that's just a quick example of the process, some of the things that you can think and look at on the TickerTrends platform. I also want to show something else in terms of the new feature we've added with the Twitter chart, and this is also under the Analyze section. The Twitter chart is mainly for sentiment analysis on a short time frame. So primarily we say this is for current events or elections, different things like this, anything where you're looking for sentiment in a very short time frame. So some examples of things that I've used this for is if there is an election that I'm trying to predict that's maybe going to be happening in a couple of days, I can look at the sentiment of the market of what people are voting for. Or if there's a cryptocurrency that just launched that's really popular, maybe I want to see if that trend of increased interest in that cryptocurrency is continuing, or if in the short term it's starting to fall off. So it's good for shorter term trades or political / election related trades. So just an example of what you can see with this. If I search vote Biden and vote Trump, to, for example, candidates in a theoretical election, then you can see here, of course, there's no election for these two individuals coming up, but you can see over time kind of the mentions of voting for Trump or voting for Biden on a historical chart. You can see for some reason just recently here that a lot more people are talking about voting for Biden than voting for Trump, maybe because it's midterm elections or whatever it may be. But this is a cool new feature, and this is all based on Twitter data. So this is a new chart, a new analysis method that we've added to the TickerTrends platform that wasn't there previously. We also have the tickers page and the popular terms page, which are a little bit more boring, but we cover all of that in the tutorial. But I hope that you've enjoyed this overview, this updated overview of the TickerTrends platform. This is really just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what this platform is capable of, and I hope you realize that. There's so many other things that I didn't even talk about in this video, such as the categories, where you can have things like stocks, cryptocurrency, and you can change the data that you're analyzing. I even have this really cool category of sectors where I have things like oil and gas, transport, clothing and footwear, agriculture. I can track entire sectors and their performance based on this alternative data. There are all these things on the TickerTrends platform that I can't necessarily fit into one video. So I highly recommend at least that by the end of this video, this has piqued your interest. You should try the platform for yourself and also read our tutorial documentation. Look at our Twitter, look at our Medium, join our community. We're really excited to have you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.